What is up? It's really kind of towards the end of the season, bag update. So obviously the one with Dismania dropped maybe like a month or so ago, but that was also filmed at the very beginning of May. So any updates? One, just broke out the new bag. My pair of white links that I putt with, still might throw a white pair in, but for now these are the only brand new ones I got, putting putters. And they just match the bag too perfectly. And this is my signature pound bag this year, so thought, you know what, perfect time to bust them out. So new fresh pair of links, Exo Hard in there. Old Intima made S-Line P3X hit something, went to crap. It's kind of bittersweet because it's nice that I'm not throwing old stuff anymore, because I really don't like throwing old stuff as long as something new can like fit the slot. And that thing was just beat in all last year, and now as soon as it turns, it's just like, it's kind of squirrely, and can't have that. So we have the new C-Line Dismania made P3X, and this thing is sick. They start out, these started out super beefy. This one was not as beefy as my other one, and is now kind of beat into, it's just pretty neutral to slightly overstable. I can hit this hard on slight hyzer, and it'll pop up and just ride dead straight, or hit it hard flat, and just might get a little bit of turn, come back, handle the wind super good. Yeah, this thing I've actually been liking it, and I like the feel of the new ones a little better. For some reason, the rim, could just be in my head, feels a touch thicker in my hand, which I'm a big fan of that. So looks like the same throwing putter I had. I'm gonna take that out because I've been messing around with the Taylor, but don't know if it's going to replace my method or not. This was the old Exo Hard link. These were actually, fun fact, the two Exo Hard links I first ever putted with when I joined Team Dismania. And then they just got nice and beat up and turned out to be perfect for throwers. So this is the old one that's a little warped, but really held up pretty good for being used for over a year and a half. And this is its unused twin that's still nice and beat up. So this is a touch more stable. I don't like bagging too many this, but I am a sucker for flippy putters. And this thing is almost like utility flippy, but still like very reliable. And so having this new one in, I don't know. I might end up bagging both. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how much this new one can handle and how much, or how flippy it really is. But I might have both in the bag for Worlds on that woods course, because this thing is nice to just the beat up one, put up high, and just let it dump, throw one of those like Isaac controlled cut roll shots that just dig into the ground if a forehand's not working for me. So, and then I still have this Razor Claw 3, and it's even more beat in, getting very nice for pushing shots into a headwind that I can just hammer flat and just kind of go basically dead straight with a little fade. Nice soft flexes, and very rarely just punch power forehands. So this thing keeps beating up. I've never been a real stable putter, like overstable throwing putter kind of guy. I've always preferred this like 4-speed approach type slot if I'm gonna throw something stable. I've never found one that I like, a overstable putter that I like and can really like trust. For some reason, that's just not a shot I like, and I just think these are more torque resistant, that kind of speed. So we'll jump over to the mid-range and the side pouch. Threw in a new MD5. Other one's starting to get just a little beat, but these prototype Metal Flake MD5s, sick huck die, and that dope, just like purple to blue kind of transitional foil It's so sick. But yeah, just a little more overstable for the little forehands. I don't think there's anything new in the mid-range department. Still got old MB3 from when back in like 2017. Got this from John Luce. I lost mine with the purple stamp, and he sold this to me for, I think it was like 20 or 25 bucks used. And at the time, I was like, oh man, I don't know if I want to spend $20 on it, because I was like 16, 17, I think it was 17. And I was like, man, $20 for a used disc, whatever. I'd have bought a million of these for 20 bucks used. But yeah, this is another one I could really make something else work probably. I mean, these fly just like the Metal Flake MD3s, whatever. But this is like the one disc in my bag that's kind of like sentimental, and it's like one of the first Dismania discs I ever really like owned. And so it's cool to throw that and like be able to throw that again, like throw a disc that I threw back when I was playing intermediate. So that's more like a personal thing for me. The Shadow Titan method has been unbelievable this year. I think the method's super underrated. I've had a few that have like will kind of hit something and just do whatever, but this one, the plastic and everything is just held up so good, and it's like the most neutral, true flying mid-range. It's so perfect. I just need flippy, neutral to can work a hyzer pretty good, to then my beat up C-Line MD5 that I've had in the bag since last year, and this thing just keeps getting a little straighter, and this thing is sick. I can just hammer this and punch this out around like, I don't know, 350 or so if need be, but really like 330, 340 shots are good. But I mean, even seeing 350 or 360 and just hitting it like as hard as I can and just pushing it and letting it act as like a distance control type shot has been pretty money. Threw in a new, I guess I didn't have one of these in the bag. I think I had a Dline FD replaced. Forge function. These things are sick. I mean, whether you only throw 200 to 300 feet and you're looking for just a max distance, just like hyzer flip, or just a nice straight, depending on, I guess, arm speed. But for me, this is my favorite roller disc I've ever had in my life. And sick utility disc, upside down, flies so overstable. But being able to punch it out on that stock hyzer hard and let it just roll over on that perfect cut angle, push out. And I mean, at Portland, I think hole 3 at the West course. No, hole 4 at the, hole 4, Glenvere East. It's like right around 460 to 480, and I like was going long, pin high along with this thing. I mean, it's, for being how flippy it is, the weight in the rim is so good, and the slight dome, it just gets it to hold that, and you know it's just gonna hold it, but never lose it left. It's always gonna eventually get up, but it doesn't like squeal out right either. It's just so predictable while being like on the ground. It's just rolls so good. Super great utility disc, enjoying that a lot. 7 speeds, still got this Seine FD in the bag. Yeah, pretty beat up. It kind of comes in and out of the bag. I just took it, I had it out for like most of the Europe stretch, didn't throw it once, but thought I'd throw it back in and start relearn how it's flying. Getting ready for Worlds, so might need a little bit more hyzer flip or late turning shots through some tight gaps. So I figured this guy's gonna be pretty useful for that. Next up is the Seine Glow FD. These are probably one of my favorite runs of FDs. That's just pretty. I mean, I don't know. I like my FDs very slight dome, but little flat and just feels comfortable in my hand. This thing's good when you need it. I don't throw it a crazy amount because I'd rather just throw my beat-in FD1. But this thing's sick for hyzer flips or hit it slight hyzer to flat out left and just let it kind of cruise right. Very workable, very, very true flying FD. This FD1 I've had in the bag since the end of last year, or beginning of last year. This was, I mean, I got it sent to me in like January or February. Same one. And this thing is so sick. Hit it flat hard, kind of drift right, slow back. You can throw some pushing hyzers hard that might get a little stand up and then just kind of fly true to the angle that you're putting it on. I don't know what I'd do without this. So there's, I mean, the Seine MD5 and this thing, and there might be, I don't know. Those are like the two right now in my bag that I don't know what I'd do without. All right, 9 speeds. We got, still rocking this, had this in the bag all the way from when I joined last year. Someone sent it to me, Doomberg II. Again, I'd be more than happy to replace this thing if I could find an FD, or in this next offseason probably work on beating in like a straighter C-line FD maybe. But this thing I can throw really up to like 390, 400 on sidearm if I need to, especially hitting it out flat and just letting it draw in left. Great for just hitting flat and just go pretty dead straight. This thing's beat into very workable for me. Long pushing forehand hyzers. I really don't throw it backhand. Yeah, that thing's been money. Also, Doomberg IV that I've had in since last year. Beaten in a good amount. I've been contemplating throwing in a new one, but this is, I've almost enjoyed being able to stretch it out. Like last year I felt like 330 to 340, just like power hyzer. It was like kind of like max for it, but now it's kind of 340 to 350. And I kind of like that. I can stand still, flex this thing like 350 comfortably if need to. Just hit it nice and hard on any angle you want. Just so torque resistant. And I mean, this is like probably up there with the FD1 and MD5. This thing is just my baby on sidearms. And then Splice, shout out to Disco Fever in New Zealand. The dyes she does is amazing, and I love having my signature pattern on a Splice in the bag. I don't use this thing a crazy amount, more utility shots, like little skip shots, or stand still, just like flexes, or anytime I just need a lawn dart, put up high, spiking in, not gonna move. Got this sick, I don't even know if you'll be able to see, little Ghost Shatter Huck stamp on there. Looks pretty cool in the pattern. Then the only PD I have is this older Seine PD. I get confused on what run it is because it's got the freak stamp, but I don't actually know what run it is. Never been good with that stuff. Yeah, this is, it took a while for me to try to figure out the PD mold, and I think I realized I only like PDs if they're straight. Yeah, I'm always looking for that, like, I don't know, CD1 for me is a little too flippy. I'd rather just throw like an FD. But like a notch up that where it's like not quite FD3 stable, but a little more stable than CD1 is, I mean, this thing is like, I can hyzer flip to dead straight, hold, small fade. I can hit flat and just let it cruise to the right and know that the torque resistant stability of this is gonna constantly be trying to fight out, and it's never gonna just roll over. Putting out high left, hitting it hard, flat to slight ante, and just letting it really slow drift in. I mean, this thing's got like the flight of a putter, but in a 10-speed. So this is another one that's been staple. Trying to find some new PDs that can fly like that while still just being whatever. It's hard to find a straight PD, honestly, without beating one up, but this one is just pretty straight from the get-go. Yeah. And then distance drivers, tuck that one in there. Rocking with 5 right now. Got Seine DD3, had this in there since last year. This thing was my go-to last year for like distance and just power sidearms. This thing now is so flippy. I can roll it backhand if I need to, but really hitting it on forehands on like pretty steep hyzer to just go like dead straight. And over in Europe, I found myself throwing it on like 330, 350 foot holes. Just soft little hyzer flips that go dead straight if they got a backstop and can really just lay in there. But this is definitely standstill forehands, max distance, woods, I mean everything. And then got George Kittle, DD3. This thing has been also my bread and butter this year, especially sidearms. Just as it's beaten in, just keeps gaining more and more distance, but just slight hyzer to just laser beam or big flex, can hit it hard outright and just let it kind of drift left and get that very late come back to the right. Backhand, I'm not throwing this a ton, or I just haven't had to really lately, I guess. I do enjoy throwing backhand, just as my max distance backhand disc probably. Throwing it out at preserve on like that, I guess, first par 5 now with the changes. And out there and just letting it cruise right and just go to town. New edition, Dismania Originals DD3 prototype. This thing, the shape on it is so good, more stable than that. And compared to my my swirly S-Line little Cloudstone, or not Cloudstone, Skystone PD2, which this thing's beat into almost bomber DD3 stability, or stable DD3 stability. But the difference here is with this being a PD2, as it slows down, it really wants to have that slow speed stability and kind of come back, where this will kind of hold and have a little bit softer finish. So I'm still figuring this one out a little bit, but I like loving this right now, especially just ripping it on backhands and just getting that turn and then knowing that's going to come back at the end, where this thing will just kind of hold that turn and max distance flight. This thing is kind of just bomber, where we'll get that little bit of finish at the end. And yeah, just pretty neutral. Throw real glidey hyzers with it, and looking forward to throwing that some more. But yeah, and then out of those two, I'm still probably choosing to forehand this just because I've got work in all year with this thing. Can really just lay into it. And I mean, it's just gonna hold that hyzer, little hyzer flip into a headwind. I can hit it hard, flat, and kind of pull it over left a little bit, and know it's gonna come back. It's just been so workable, and this new PD2 almost is like a little faster than the old ones. Definitely a little bit more shallow, which I had to get used to, but it feels so comfortable for forehands and no problem throwing backhands. So I enjoy the little bit faster and having kind of like a bomber PD2 that's just super workable. And then lastly, have the same Hypno Huck that's been in the bag since all last year. It's in my room right now, but I also have a, sorry, someone's dropping something off at the front door. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, I also in my room have a C-Line PD2 that is just beef, and it's probably gonna kick this thing out as this thing's beat in, or probably just get added, honestly. I meant to throw that in the bag for this, because golf course for Worlds might be pretty windy. This thing hitting it hard into the wind, sometimes if I hit it hard flat, I'll get like a little bit of turn. I don't necessarily want that. So this thing's getting beat up. Still good for power forehands, but it's also like lost a little bit of stability to where like hitting it on anhyzer into the wind, I'm like starting to second guess it a little bit. So that C-line one is going to be perfect. That's about it for that. We got, oh, I didn't move it over yet. Lucky Mini's still in the other one. Backup Lucky Mini. Looking kind of dirty, honestly. A little resin. Girlfriend got those for me back in 2019 for Christmas. What else we got in here? Not much. Couple Sharpies, pocket knife, chump chalk bags. Best chalk bags in the game. Great for wind reads and yeah, just keeping my hands sweat quite a bit. So that is extremely crucial. Constantly just checking that throughout the round. It's helped be just aware of the wind. I don't care if people find it annoying because that's like the one variable in our game, the wind, that can really screw us over. And so just being able to constantly be aware of like what way the wind is coming off of has kind of helped me progress a little bit too. A little Titan patch, and then Chump Chalk also made this little 3D GB patch with my logo. But yeah, check out this pound bag when it drops. These are the best bags in the game. So comfortable, durable. I mean, it's just, any other bag sitting on my back has been, I don't know, I've tested out some other ones in the past. This is hands down the best in the long run, in my opinion. And Levi's doing a great thing over there, and really puts in a ton of hard work and care into these bags. So I think you will not regret spending the money on one of these. So that is the updated in the bag. I've definitely reduced how many molds I'm throwing, even for adding back a couple more. I think taking out that and that, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 discs. I'm usually like a 24 to 25 guy. But so 21, 23 if I keep both of these in there, which probably end up being 22. But yeah, reducing the molds and more so making a shot shape work has helped. Instead of having like 8 distance drivers in, all slightly different stability, it's helped kind of having more clear-cut slots in my lineup to then not kind of really try to play that, oh, maybe a touch more stable would have worked. And like Gannon likes to put it, he doesn't like to be able to blame the disc. It's more so, do I want to throw flippy or stable? And there's no real in between. And then you work the angle and make it work. And then if you miss the shot, it's on you, and not being able to blame the disc for flipping up a little too much or whatever. So just kind of defining the slots in your bag a little more clearly and working from there has greatly helped my game this year as well. So, honorable mention, Taylor. Tuomas Hutiainen got me on this train, as well as some others. I know Alden's bagging one right now. He bags a couple. Niklas might have one in the bag. Right now it's kind of just overlapping with this method a little bit. Still trying to figure it out. If I can find a real beefy one, then I'd probably throw that in. But working with this a little bit before Worlds as well. Might need another mid-range on that course. So thank you for tuning in. And yeah, this will probably be the last bag update. And if anything, just do short video on changes throughout the year. But be on the lookout for my signature disc. That is dropping, I think, early September, end of August if I'm lucky, but probably early September. And the last time I've heard, I'm really looking forward to that, and I will post more details about that when the time comes. So thank you for all the support. And yeah, oh, and I took Idlewild or Ledgestone Idlewild off. Had some tense elbow going on, so just taking some time to let my body rest, recover. Doing super well in standings for points, and thought it's just best to take 2 weeks off, really like 2.5. Spend some time with family in Iowa because I won't see them until probably November. And then yeah, just try to be all prep for Worlds, which I cannot wait for. So that is why I haven't been playing those events. But again, thank you for support, and see you next time.